Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a great project for you today. This is a classic 8-point star, and I mean this is the kind of quilt that just never goes out of style and you never get tired of, and I've got an easy way to make it. Now, if you remember, the Jenny's doll quilt is made the very same fashion, but it's so fun to see it all big and in this fabric. The fabric I'm using is called Vintage Happy 2, and it's by Lori Holt of Bee in My Bonnet for Riley Blake. Look how cute that fabric is. And what you're going to need to make this quilt is 4 packs of 5-inch squares. Now, for those of you who are doing the math, that equals a layer cake cut in fourths, but we used 4 charm packs for this because they're already cut. For your background, you're going to need white to make these quilts, and you'll need 2 packs of white 5-inch squares and plus a yard of fabric for your corner squares, or 2 1/4 yards of background fabric. So you can do one or the other. It depends if you have yardage, or if you're like me and you don't want to cut as many things as possible. I used 5-inch squares. Our outer border is 1 1/4 yards, and it's a nice big 6-inch border out here. And this makes a quilt that is 71 by 71. So it's a great size, and I just love the classic look of these stars. And you'll find it's a lot easier than you think it is. Let's look at the back for a minute. Now, this back, I just have to say, this is what is known in the quilt world as cheater cloth because the pattern is already on it. It's, you know, you don't have to sew these tiny little things to get it on there. I love this. I love the back. Look how cute that is. I mean, it's just adorable as a background, and it just is perfect with this fabric. So this, an 8-point star is traditionally called the Lemoyne star. And it's named after 2 brothers, John Baptiste and Pierre Lemoyne. They founded the city of New Orleans. I found this on the internet, so we know it's true. Anyway, so then as I was reading a little longer, it said the Northerners who weren't French speakers, they didn't want to say Lemoyne, so they renamed it the Lemon Star, just for fun. And you guys know as well as I do that these stars, I mean blocks, all quilt blocks have like 10 different names. Everybody gives them a different name. And so we just went with the Lemon Star on this one because we thought it was fun and cute, and it kind of fits the fabric as well. It just looks really fun. All right, so let me show you how to make this because this is just a dream to make. From your packs, you're going to get 2 of each color. So I have 2 pinks and 2 whites right here. Let me scoot this up like this, make sure you can see it good. Now, and we're going to need 2 white fabrics as well. So we have 2 dark colors, 2 lights. You want to make sure you have good contrast in your blocks. And so 1 pink is going to be sewn to a white square. 1 white is going to be sewn to a white square. And then these 2 are going to be sewn together. Now when I say sewn, what I mean is we're going to take this sewing machine and sew all the way around them 1/4 inch. And I'm going to do that right now. And I have some of these already done, so I'll probably just sew one of these. Now, if that little pinked edge bothers you, it bothers me a little bit. If it bothers you, don't worry about it too much because, you know, it's just more important that you're consistent, and we're going to square these anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I've sewn all the way around the outside of my block, and I'm going to cut it diagonally both directions. So we're going to cut one here. We're going to turn this, and we're going to cut one here. Now, if you're using a square up square, you're going to want to press these open. I'm going to use the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer. And I have trimmer B, and I'm going to make them 3 inches. So I'm going to lay my seam line on their seam line on my seam line and trim this both sides, and then that should square that up. We're going to do it to all our blocks. And by the way, you're going to go ahead and sew around these 2 as well and cut them diagonally. I just already have some done over here, so hopefully that makes sense to you. All right, there's 2. And again, sometimes you can get this like right on the edge, so you only have to cut one side. That's kind of helpful. But we're not very little waste on this block. And the reason we went with the extra yardage is because we're squaring these to 3, our corner blocks are going to have to be 3. All right, so now lay your dark side on top and press to the dark side so that that seam allowance is hidden on the dark fabric. So once you get all your squares ironed, you should have 3 sets. One should be your 2 fabrics together, one should be your light fabric and your background, and one should be your colored fabric and your background. So you'll have 3 of those sets, and you need 4 3-inch squares for the corner of your block. So these are the things you need to make one block. And let me show you how you put this together, because it's actually really cool. So the way I remember it, you guys know I always have like these little mantras, and what I do is you have to make sure that your corners are going the right way so that it stays in a star like this, because what you're lining up is this one and this one to make those points. So make a block, lay it right there so you have it to look at, because these are actually made in 4 patches. So your square goes in the corner, and I actually keep these stacked up as piles, and then I take all the piles to my sewing machine, because you're going to make 4 little 4 patches of these that we're going to put together to make an 8-point star. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this one down like this. We're going to turn this pink one up like this. Whoops, I got some of these on here. The pink one up like this, and then this one is going to go, this should go there. These 2 are going to go with the color like this. So see how that makes this part of the star, and this one makes this part of the star. Then I'm going to come over and I'm going to take my little stacks right over here to my sewing machine, and I'm going to chain piece these together. So I'm going to chain piece them 2 at a time. So I'll take my corner and put it on like this, and I'm going to sew. And then I'm going to take 2 of these so that when I get ready to put them together, they're going to be right together the way they need to go. So we're just going to do this whole stack. All right. Now what I'm going to do, since I have all these together, is I'm going to clip them apart in pairs. So I know each one of these is a block, like this. And then I want you to look at them. I'm going to come over here and show you. So this is our block right here, just like that. And we're going to sew those together. We don't even need to clip the thread in between, so we're just going to lay these right on top of each other and sew them together. And we're going to do this to 4. And you're noticing I'm not pressing. And the reason is that I want to make these seams go in opposite directions. And I just want to make sure that they'll behave. So here's this one, and I'm always going to look and make sure that they're going the right way, because checking is better than picking, right? All right, hang on here. And because you squared these, they should go together very nicely. Now remember, squaring, the tools that are out there, they're made for different brains. So if you find what you're comfortable using. Some people are very comfortable with, they love the block lock. Some people love a straight square. Some people love the little ruler I use. It's just whatever works for your brain. And when you find that tool, your brain will go, oh, this is perfect. This is easy. All right. This is my last one of these 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press these open, and then we're going to assemble our block. And this is how easy an 8-point star is. So we're just going to open these up right here. And there's 1/4. I'm trying to iron with my wrong hand. I love how these come together and how quick they are. And I love a star. All right, so because we put these together identically, every other one is going to have that color. You're going to have the bright color. So look how that goes together. So now we're going to sew this together like a 4 patch, like this. And I'll do that right now. Let me see, is this the bottom or this is the bottom? So this is the top. Put this top one on here first, and then I don't even have to clip the thread. So when I don't clip that thread, it's called chain piecing, but for me it's almost like putting a little pin in there. You know, it makes it, it kind of just holds it together. It's not really like a pin, but sort of. In my mind it is. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll sew this center seam. Now the fun thing about this center seam and this block is that you have the opportunity to line up at every square. So that keeps your block square when you do that. So don't just put it together and sew down, but take a minute and sew your square, and then make sure those next two seams match up like this. And then we're going to make sure these two seams match up. And then we're going to check these. So it keeps you, you know, it's like a, just keeps you in line all the way down so that things work out really good. All right, now we'll go to the iron and press this nice and flat. All righty, so look how cute this is. That was it. That's that easy. And when I put these together, I literally set them together like this, just one right next to the other and right next to the other. Let's look at our quilt back here. We've got, see, there's no sashing or anything in between. They're just right next to each other. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 rows down here. So that's 36 stars. And it just goes together so quick and easy. And it's such a classic look. And we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the Lemon Star from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.